Hey guys, Mr. Fair here. I'm just going to take a minute to go over the second part of a CRQ and model, give you an example of what it might look like when you read one and the possible answers that you might be looking to dig out of your document that I'm going to give you tonight. So I'm going to read this with you, all right, this whole thing right here, and I'm going to show you how I'm breaking it down and my thought process in figuring out the answer, right? So, Miguel Leon Portilla is a Mexican anthropologist and historian who wrote the book Vision de los Vencidos, Relaciones Indigenas de la Conquista, Vision of the Vanquished, Indigenous Accounts of the Conquest. In 1959, which was renamed The Broken Spears, the Aztec account of the conquest of Mexico when it was translated and published in English in 1962. In response to previous histories of the event that glorified Europeans, Leon Portilla gathered accounts by Aztecs and translated them from the Nahuatl language to Spanish. The excerpt below describes the Spanish invasion of the Aztec capital Tenochtitlan during the religious celebration. The Spaniards attacked the musicians first, slashing at their hands and faces until they had killed all of them. The singers and even the spectators were also killed. The slaughter in the second sacred patio went on for 3 hours. Then the Spaniards burst into the rooms of the temple to kill the others. Those who were carrying water or bringing fodder to the horses or grinding meal or sweeping or standing watch over this work. So the question is, what is the purpose of this author writing this book, right? And he took these accounts from the Aztecs, which previously had been neglected. So the purpose was to inform people of the perspective of the native inhabitants of the attack by the Spanish on the Aztecs. So what you would do then after you make that statement is to pull a couple examples, slashing at their hands and faces until they had killed them all. They burst into the room to kill the others. Basically, they were going to kill anyone that was considered the enemy. And that's something that at that point in time in the 1950s and 60s hadn't really been discussed. So there you go. The main point is to give the perspective of the native peoples when they were invaded by the Europeans. All right. So I'm going to give you practice CRQ. You guys need to complete it by Monday. And it's CRQ has a first part with geographic context, a second part with purpose, and then the third part is this. All right. Your relationship between documents 1 and 2. It's the synthesis part. And this is what you're required to do. Identify and explain a cause and effect relationship between the events, ideas, etc. It's required, okay? Clear and well-organized writing discussing the cause and effect between the documents